Welcome to this week's episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in as little as 15 minutes to build your dream business. And now here's your host, the Visibility Whiz, Cindy J.
Hi, I'm Cindy J, the Visibility Whiz, and welcome to this episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in 15 minutes or less to build your business. Today, our guest is Katja Rusanen, and she is a mentor for light workers, a spiritual author, and Katja is dedicated to helping light workers create abundance and succeed with their purpose. Katja's pragmatic approach combined with her spiritual awareness helps her clients get results fast, whether they are looking to get their first coaching contract or support to create $1.5 million launch or reaching more people with their message. Welcome, Katja. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Cindy. I'm so glad to be here and share my message with your audience and hopefully inspire them on their path.
Thank you very much. That's great. And to start with, Katja, can you share a personal or business challenge that you had to overcome in order to achieve your level of success?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. I want to actually share why the purpose is such a big keyword for me and why I'm so dedicated helping others to fulfill their calling, fulfill their purpose. Because, Cindy, purpose was the thing that kept me going here, kept me alive when I went through hardships when I was just a teenager. I had to go through a very, very tragic time as I lost a loved one to suicide. And when I was 16, and my loved one was my boyfriend. So that took me into a very dark place. Mm-hmm. And what kept me going was just a sense, just a feeling that there was a reason why I was here. It wasn't very clear at that time, but I thought there must be something why I'm here. And that helped me to go through those very dark times in my life. Mm-hmm. And then that also put me to the spiritual path because I couldn't find the answer why somebody ended up his life, why I had to go through that experience anywhere else than spiritual text. And that helped me then to also start the inner work. And that was a process. It took me a while because in the beginning I didn't even want to get help.
Right.
And yeah, I was just okay, I'm closing down. I don't want anybody's help. But little by little, because there was something calling me forward, that was the purpose. Mm-hmm. And these people started to come into my life, and they were like glimpses of light that gave me always little piece of wisdom, little encouragement, and that helped me to keep going. And now with the work I do, I feel that I want to pay forward everything that I received when I was going hard times. And I want to help those people who are feeling that there is something that they want to do, or maybe they have experienced also something that keeps them stuck, because I was stuck in that darkness for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I didn't really see the future. I didn't really see where I was heading, but then I got these little glimpses of light. Right. And that's what I really, truly want to be for others, the little glimpse of light that helps people to move forward and inspire them and give them, again, the encouragement that there is a mission for them. There is a special purpose for them to do here. And maybe those things that happened as traumatic they might have been, there is a possibility to overcome and discover the joy of living again. Because I did that, so I feel that it's possible for others too.
I absolutely love that. We've all had traumas in our life. And, especially whenever you're so young and losing your boyfriend that way, definitely traumatic. What I absolutely love is that you've said this a few times, you've seen the glimpses of light. And that glimpses of light is what kept you going. And regardless what's happening with somebody's life, I'm sure there's people watching this that may be going through their own hard times. It's keep your eyes open, because there are lots of glimpses of light as long as you're allowing yourself to look for them and see them.
Absolutely. I think the allowing is a very key word there. And yes, we do need to allow ourselves also have the time to grieve and have the emotional process. But there comes a time when we can also okay, what could be one thing that I'm grateful for today? Mm-hmm. And there are maybe days, if you are having really tough time, that's hard to even find one thing. Right. But that way you start training your mind to keep looking of something positive.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I love it. Absolutely love it. And completely agree with you. I went through, I always call it my years of hell. I went through my own hell years where, like you, it was, I had to see the glimpses of light. And what really changed me was whenever somebody was brought into my life that told me my life was my choice. And her words really opened my eyes to the choices that I was making and what I was allowing and not allowing into my life.
Yes.
And, I know that you work with light workers. So just in case there's somebody out there that doesn't understand what a light worker is, can you explain what a light worker is? And also, what different types of light workers are there?
Absolutely. And I do get that question a lot. So if you're wondering, you're not the only one. So my definition for light worker is person who feels the calling to help others, who wants to raise the level of awareness, and who wants to contribute something meaningful. And I have a Facebook group called Light Workers Who Succeed on Purpose, and there are members from lawyers to life coaches and alternative practitioners, therapists. So it doesn't really, sometimes we think light worker, I need to be a coach or a healer. Not necessarily, because you can bring the light into anything you do. You can bring light into your business, which I call then lightness. Mm-hmm. And it is just a different paths that we have chosen. And there are, I see at least the four main types I normally work with are, of course, the most common one is the healer who wants to who feels the calling to ease the suffering. Mm-hmm. But then there are also teachers who want to raise the level of awareness, give workshops, teachings, and do the work that way. And then there are creatives who maybe are writers or artists or musicians. And then there are leaders who want to bring something new, who want to change the system, who are more into okay, let's start something new here. And I see more and more leaders in business. Mm-hmm. We have some leaders even in politics that are changing the old way and bringing new level of awareness, how to do business, how to do politics. And there are many more, right. But this is just a glimpse of what light worker can be. It's just a term that I use in order to call the people who feel that they want to do the work with me. It's a kind of a calling card.
I love your answer. Thank you very much. And, I know you talk about life purpose a lot. So how can a light worker determine what their life purpose is?
It's often knowing that they already have in their heart. Because I believe that all of us come here with certain purpose. And of course, there is a choice then whether you want to take that path or not. I personally, I worked in a banking before I jumped into this field. I took a leap of faith. And I had always, since I was young, the feeling like I want to bring even more light into this world. And I want to help people. But then I was kind of going to the normal route, and I found myself working in banking, climbing the ladder, until there came a day and I was like, I started to feel pain in my chest because I had not listened to my inner guidance. So my body started telling me like, hello, it's time for that change. We have been telling you and you haven't been listening. And when you have a pain in your chest, you actually start taking that very seriously. I went to do all kind of tests, and the doctors were telling you are fine physically. It's a stress related. So take care of you, take care of whatever is causing that stress. And I was like, I just knew that I need to make a leap of faith. And it was scary to say goodbye to something that I have been building up. And then there came this moment that I needed to do it. And when I did, the chest pain just went away.
You know, I love this story because so many people, you know, they say I think like 80% of doctor's visits are because of stress. And typically whenever anything that causes us stress is because we're not living our truth.
Absolutely. And it is truly like learning to listen your inner guidance, learning to listen your intuition, because we all have intuition. Yes. I believe we all do have it, but some are more tuned to hear it. Because it's like the little voice. And of course, if you don't listen, it just kind of goes away. Or if you hear it and you never do accordingly, it starts going away. But then you can, again, tune into that and listen and feel it in your body as well. How do you feel when you are making decisions and moving forward? And when it comes to like purpose, finding your purpose, it is really truly connecting and aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions, because you already have that. It's just opening up to receive that. And that's something I help also light workers and anybody really to find the clarity. Because when you have more clear what is the vision you have, it's easier to make these changes and take these leaps of faith when you have a vision where you are heading.
Absolutely. And you know, the vision, it's all about the vision, and that's what makes us happy whenever we're pursuing our vision. And you know, we're pursuing a worthwhile goal, something that means a lot to us. And you know, do you see that there's any difference in the way light workers approach their businesses versus, per se, non-light workers?
I think it's more that we are like deciding from our heart. And that goes a little bit against, because we are taught at school to always use our mind to make decisions. And if I would have used my mind only to make a decision whether I continue in banking or whether I jump and start this counseling and coaching business, I most likely would have continued in banking. It was more safe, it brought more money, and it was just something that was a path that I would have chosen only with my mind. But if I chose from my heart, I followed the calling in my heart. So I think there comes the difference. We maybe follow more the heart-led way, and not saying that it won't be profitable or like that, but it's more like fulfilling the purpose is important. And that is high on the list of priorities, that it's aligned and it's like feeling that you are fulfilled, you are doing something meaningful.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And I think so much of it is, I mean, definitely everybody gets into business for a profit because we all need to live. But I think that non-light workers look at the money first, and then they try to see what they can sell to get that money. Whereas a light worker says, what can I offer the world and make money at the same time with it?
Absolutely. You got that. Like, it's more coming from the service and fulfilling the purpose. And yes, we do need to make money too, because unfortunately the world yet doesn't operate that we just send light and we are taken care of. So you need to find ways also to create abundance, financial abundance in life.
Right. And speaking just about money, I know that a lot of light workers struggle with that part of it. It's like, but I'm just supposed to give my gift. I want to help everybody. I'm going to give my services away for free. So what do you say to your clients that really struggle with receiving money for their services?
There is usually an energetic block with the receiving. And sometimes there are some judgments, this life, past life. Also, like charging for the service. Maybe something happened and they've kind of found like this judgments towards money. The money is evil, money is dirty, whatever that is. And how I help people is to go into the core, like the core wound, core judgment, and healing that so that they can release all these blocks around money. And like just allowing the flow. And it's often one tip I can share already, which has helped many. It's like, because people, light workers normally love giving. It's like, it feels so good. I want to give. And I'm like, yeah, but think about the other person who wants to give you the money when they get the service. Don't you want to give that person the same feeling that you have when you are able to give? And that sometimes like makes it like, yes, I want to have them to have that feeling too. So it's just a little mind trick to what we can use to start receiving more.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I have never thought of it that way. But what's really interesting is I always tell people, because a lot of people have a hard time receiving a compliment. And so I say, whenever you deny somebody, if they give you a compliment, like if you gave me a compliment, I said, oh, I'm having a bad hair day, or this old shirt, then I'm really negating the gift that you're giving me. And so I'm not giving you the pleasure of giving me the compliment. So it's a gift and I have to receive it as a gift. And I've always said this, and you're saying basically the same thing with money. And I love that because I've never thought of it that term in the money terms. Where it is people feel good whenever they give you money, whenever they're helping you. And also they feel good about themselves that I'm getting something that's really going to change my life.
Look also the path. There are usually patterns and we repeat those patterns.
Yes.
And then it's like, okay, what are you learning from that? So we can say like, okay, check, completed. Now I can learn something else. I got that. I got the lesson.
So with light workers, they do because they want to give and they want to change the world. They want to make a huge impact on people's lives. So how can they magnify their impact?
It is working on those inner blocks that actually they can go out there to share their work, that they can learn how to reach more people, how to allowing them to speak their purpose and truly be the messengers. Because you can be the best in your field, but if you are not going out there and sharing your work, nobody knows about you, and then you're not in service. Because I hear so often people saying I hate marketing, I hate this, and I hate sales. But sales is actually invitation if you really see it and do it in the light workers way. You are inviting people. And marketing is just you are sharing something valuable. So it's again how you frame those things in your mind and how you do them. Doing them on light-focused way that is aligned with you, you can start magnifying your impact. And that is truly reaching the people you meant to help here. They need to hear from you. So it is allowing yourself shine, share your gifts, and succeed on purpose.
Wonderful, wonderful words of wisdom there, Miss Katja. And,
thank you.
So can you share a strategy that our listeners can implement in 15 minutes or less to build their business?
I can. And what has worked very well for me is, and this comes from Stephen Covey, it's start from the end in mind. Because that is the thing that will motivate you and help you to keep going. When you have the vision where you are heading, and you daily remind yourself, because it also helps then to make these decisions, like what do I do and what are my next steps? You can see whether they are aligned where you want to go. Because if we don't have that destination clear, we might be running in the circles or just being in this busyness of doing a lot of things, but not really doing things we want to do or things that take us forward. That's at least, well, personally, I have experienced that too. So I have tested that, like being busy and doing a lot of things, but not really moving forward. So there is like having the destination clear so that you can start building the path. You can start building the roadmap that leads you forward.
Right. And I see what some people do. So I want you to elaborate a little bit on this. I see what some people do is they will say, hey, my goal is to make $10,000 or $20,000 a month or $100,000 a year. And this is their vision, but this typically isn't a strong enough vision to help them attain it. So can you give us some examples of some really good, clear visions that you or some of your clients have had?
Well, let's stick with that. If somebody is there and okay, I want to make 100K per year, and that is what they want, so they can start working on that. Like, okay, if I would have that, how would my life look like? So having that money itself, like, it's maybe not the motivation, but what would you do with the money might start helping you more to motivate. Like picturing yourself living that life already. Like what would change? Like, would you live different place? Would you drive different car? Wearing different clothes, doing different things with your loved ones, taking them for a holiday, like giving money to charity, like having all these opportunities available. And that works very well with light focus. When I say like, okay, if you would have the money, what would you do? And they often I would like share and I would donate money. So that is like when the money goal becomes even bigger than you. It's like when you involve your loved ones there, like doing charity, that is a big motivation. And also like you can see how would you feel, because that is something you can connect with, the feeling inside. If you would have that money, if you would have your life exactly the way you want, how would you feel? And that's again, like that is a feeling you want to connect with each day, because you start building your life like you already would be there. So some of the like goals light workers might have would be like having a healing practice where they could serve more clients and have that impact, like maybe international impact, going to speaking events where they could again share their message and help more and more people, so that we would raise the level of awareness here in the earth. Mm-hmm. So it's just something that brings light to them, and it's just something that really motivates you to keep going. So I would, if that is, money goal is very good because it's very tangible. It's easy to check when you receive and when you have completed that, but then you can build around that, like right. So that it will be more inspiring for you to keep going.
And I know that you have a wonderful gift for our audience, Katja. Can you share what it is?
Yes, I'd love to give the audience the Instant Intuition mini guide, because I have mentioned the intuition so many times during this interview, and I was like, okay, let me help them if they want to tune in and use intuition as a decision-making tool. So in this guidebook, they will learn how to start that journey. Like I share 5 easy ways to improve your intuition. And then also like bring awareness, what can sabotage your intuition? So if you feel like you are not tuned in, you don't receive guidance, there might be these things that are sabotaging your intuition. And then I share 3-step decision-making method and practical development tips that will help you to use this beautiful gift that you have.
That's beautiful. Thank you for such a wonderful gift, Katja. And to our listeners, you want to hop on over to bizsuccessin15.com/Katja, all lowercase, that's Katja, and grab your own Instant Intuition Guide. Absolutely love that gift, because tapping into your own intuition is one of the biggest keys to the success in your business. And Katja, do you have any parting words for our listeners?
I'd love to just encourage you to tune into your heart and just start following the guidance from there. And our mind is a wonderful tool, but allowing yourself also to have the courage to listen to your heart and taking the calling that you have and taking those steps towards fulfilling the purpose that is already in your heart. So I believe you already have it there. It's just allowing that information to come forward, and you will have the wisdom you need. And as there is this saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So trust that that will happen. And there is so much help and support available for you. All you need to do is ask.
Thank you so very much, Katja. And thank you for being my guest today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, Cindy. This has been wonderful chat, and I'm so delighted that I had this opportunity to inspire your audience.
Yes, and thank you. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's show, feel free to share it with your friends. And you want to hop on over to bizsuccessin15.com /Katja, all lowercase Katja, and you'll find any links from today's show. You'll be able to re-listen to Katja's words of wisdom, catch up on any past episodes that you might have missed from other top experts. And while you're there, be sure to grab your own Instant Intuition Guide so you can start really tuning in to what your intuition is and following your own inner guidance. So big hugs. And be sure to tune in next week for another great episode with another amazing guest. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Biz Success in 15. For all links mentioned in today's show and to watch or listen to previous episodes, visit bizsuccessin15.com. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to tune in next week for another amazing guest.